Do you pay much attention to regulation?
I think at the moment it's unclear.
What do you think of DeFi and crypto?
I think it's going to get regulated.
People tend to go overly negative on things.
The US government is still trying to figure out how to adapt to it.
Do you pay much attention to regulation? Do you have an opinion on how you think it will roll out, given what happened now?
I think at the moment it's unclear. I think the problem is crypto is moving very fast as the regulators have just struggled to keep up and run from one issue to another. I think from our point of view as a business, the viewpoint we've taken is to be agnostic.
What do you think of DeFi and crypto? Is that an influential part of the credit markets today in any way, or do you see it becoming somehow influential in the private investments that are happening?
I think it's going to get regulated. And the moment it gets regulated, a lot of the reasons why DeFi has been so successful is because it's been operating in an unregulated environment. There's a lot of ways to make money and generate yields in that instance. When regulators come in, there's going to be a day of reckoning, I think, for a lot of these companies, and it's going to cause liquidity to fall dramatically from there.
When you think of investing using tokens, NFTs, why are they so sharp and how do they live?
I think there are hype cycles and there are adoption cycles, right? And new tech tends to come in this S curve where the bottom of the S is always higher than the previous bottom. These waves of technology, after the hype, people tend to go overly negative on things and they tend to go, everything is in the same bucket. From an investor point of view, that's where there is real opportunity because you've got to see some of these technologies in the wild. You've got to see what some of the potential is. The thing that keeps me particularly excited about the space is the quality of founders that are coming in that are building upon the infrastructure layers.
Do you feel this tension in between owning, buying, trading, selling goods and assets using cryptocurrency versus using it with fiat USD?
I think we're going to see the few chains that adequately decentralized prior to this government intervention from the US. Those few chains, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe one or two more, I don't know, that have enough global validators outside of just AWS, US availability zones that could actually maintain a global reserve currency or a global gold, if you will. But the last thing I'll say is that's probably only applies to the chains that have sufficiently decentralized prior to all of this happening.
I think it's early times in that space, right? I think the government, the US government, for example, is still trying to figure out how to adapt to it. We've also seen China put a lot of crimps on digital currency because it doesn't suit them and it limits their ability to manipulate or manage their currency.
How do you describe where crypto is today and blockchain technology?
Certainly wouldn't say that I could have predicted where we are today, but I think that the basic thesis of what FV Bank is all about was to some great extent predicting where we are today. And that is that the industry was going to require regulated partners for certain functions in the industry. For the foreseeable future, as far as I predict, there's a relationship between fiat and crypto that's going to exist. And so if there's going to be a relationship between fiat and crypto, that means that you have to have regulated partners involved in many aspects.
Do you think there are unforeseen negative externalities if these banks are just not allowed to touch crypto at all?
It's historically not been easy for crypto projects and crypto companies to get banking. We saw Bitcoin very explicitly rise in price and in value as a response to that, which is like fundamentally what Bitcoin is, right? It's like a hedge against monetary debasement. Probably not going to be any easier going forward.
And do you wrap crypto into fintech or would you put that in a separate bucket entirely?
I think at a high level, they're one and the same. What I hope is that we will see them converging in a lot of ways to build the best of both worlds that are properly protective of consumers and the way we move money.